Greetings ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exotic weapons review. In this video we're going to be having a close sniff at the SUROS regime exotic auto rifle. Just look at it in the sunshine. It looks like a hot dog that's been bathed in ketchup and mustard and is now awaiting your lips for a sumptuous bite. Delicious. Anyway, story. Why are you reviewing a 3-year-old gun? Simple answer. We put a poll out on Twitter for the review and you guys voted for the regime, so that's exactly what we're going to do now. So let's kick off by munching on those glorious base stats. The regime has a magazine size of 33, a rate of fire of 77, an impact of 28, a range of 22, a stability of 35, a reload of 65, and an aim assistance of 30. And if we're quite honest, it looks absolutely nothing like a hot dog. The SUROS regime dealing kinetic damage has a choice out of field choke for more range and impact and increased recoil. Then we have linear compensator, more predictable recoil, slight boost to range and impact but more recoil. Then of course smart drift control, predictable and controllable recoil, penalty to range. The recoil patterns for all 3 muzzle options, as well as the 2 modes that the weapon could be fired in, all had very similar grouping. If we were to split hairs, then linear compensator has the slightly tighter grouping all around. What's all this about the gun having 2 modes? Well, indeed we have spinning up. The longer this weapon is fired, the faster it fires. And the other option is focus fire. When zoomed in, this weapon fires slower but causes additional damage. Indeed it does. 37 to the head and 29 to the body with focus fire, and a 28 to the head and a 22 to the body with spinning up. Guardians, it's important to note that you will be dealing a single point less on damage across the board when selecting smart drift control as your muzzle option. Moving on, let's take a look at the switchable mode, starting first with spinning up. Now this mode offers more stability by sacrificing a little range. We also gain the benefit of getting more bullets downwind and into our targets. Now I found that spinning up was useful when playing on maps with more close quarter engagements, and in extremely close proximities I learned to never underestimate the convenience of hipfire. The hose of panic for the win. Now let's talk about the other option on offer, focused fire. This is a slower rate of fire when aiming down sights, but having a slight boost to damage and quite notably some extra range to play with. Now this definitely helps out on maps that encourage longer range gunfights, and switching to hipfire for those closer battles does make the whole focus fire option a worthy alternative to spinning up. Just look at that. Dead. Nice. Okay, let's have a look at the exotic perk for this auto rifle, the SUROS Legacy. The bottom half of each magazine deals bonus damage and has a chance to return health on a kill. Now, this perk kinda had my gherkin pickled and left me scratching my head a little. At 16 bullets remaining in the mag, we have an audio and a visual cue that indicates that something is indeed happening. However, the damage bonus from this perk will only become available to us when we are at our last 6 remaining bullets. The perk description is a little inaccurate. The bottom half of the mag doesn't deal extra damage so much as the last few remaining bullets, so maybe in this instance we could rename the perk glass half full to the scraping of the barrel. However, this damage bonus is considerable, especially when we're using the mode focus fire. Now remember Guardians, we will have an extra point of damage here also if we have either field choke or linear compensator selected as our muzzle options. Having smart drift control will globally reduce our damage output by 1 single point of damage. Okay, it's time we examine the latter half of the SUROS Legacy perk. This is the chance to regain health on a kill. Here it is in action, and it's fairly rapid when it does decide to proc, which is my bone of contention with the perk itself, is that I found that it didn't really kick in very often at all. In fact, I would use the word seldom to describe how often it actually presented itself. All in all, a useful perk, but definitely not something that you can rely upon. And finally, to complete the regime, we have Hammer Forged, my personal favourite for improved range and accuracy, and lightweight. When held, this weapon grants +2 character agility. Then we have the ornaments. These are the weapon skins. We have Red Memorial, a homage to how the regime appeared in Year 1, which is very nice, but here is where the money's at. Basilisk's Glory. Just look at that. That's fabulous. Black and yellow. To conclude, is the SUROS regime a worthy contender in today's Crucible meta? Now my answer is not as cut and dry as a yes or no, I'm afraid, as this weapon's effectiveness will depend largely on the opponents you find yourself up against. Now I've had some great games with this gun, mostly in 6v6 modes and in lobbies that have a smaller amount of players that are using the strongest possible weapons and their combinations. When in a medium to short range gunfight with a decent player using a good hand cannon, you're more than likely going to go down like a sack of spuds well in advance of dealing enough damage to win that engagement, even with spinning up and using the last few bullets that deal bonus damage and at the accelerated fire rate. Now that extra damage and range from focus fire was ultimately a more reliable combo if I kept my distances to the medium or the longer ranges. So I found that the SUROS regime is by no means a write-off in the current Crucible meta. One can have some fun and get the job done, but the trick is to assess your opponent beforehand and shift your loadout accordingly. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the end of the video. I've been Story Machine. I thank you very much for watching. You can visit me at twitch.tv/Story Machine. The link is in the description. I'd like to thank Mr. Schletten and Mikatsu85 for assisting me in the cinematic sequences for this video, as well as allowing me to shoot them in the face a couple of times in the name of science. That's it from me, ladies and gentlemen. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and remember, smoke us a kipper. We'll be back for breakfast.